Hello everyone, welcome to Powerline. I'm your host Skyknight, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile. And this one is a little bit more different than the others, and I'm doing it purely to spite Kaiser. Yep, I'm spiting Kaiser. Today's deck profile is Giraffa, because we know how much he loves that card. So this is going to include the support from the new Fighters Collection Winter, and just by looking at it, I like the deck. I like there's a bit of consistency in the deck from just the new card, the new grade 1 that was added to it. I haven't had a chance to really test it out among my friends because we went to the Vanguard event this weekend. So I will bring you this, and then I will make another video to tell you how it turns out. Maybe in one of our streams are coming up. So without further ado, here's my deck profile. My starter is Lava Mutant Giraffa. Just a basic, the basic starter for the raid chain. I was thinking about using the Crime Bug Executive starter as a tech, but this helps me get my ride on. But actually, you know what? Using the Crime Bug isn't so bad, to be honest, because I have the grade 1 that's already going to be able to search out the other pieces of the deck. So hitting the right chain really is only important at grade 2, just so my Giraffa can be at grade 3. So I may make the addition to put in the crime bug as a starter instead. So for the trigger lineup, guys, I actually forgot to separate all this out. I'm running 4 crits. Excuse me, not 4 crits. I lied. 1, 2, and 3. I'm actually running 12 criticals. As I'm talking to you guys, or not 12 criticals, 10 criticals. As I'm talking to you guys, I'm separating the cards right now. Highly unprofessional, but such is my life at the moment. Running 12 criticals, 10 criticals, excuse me, because the deck doesn't benefit from the draw as much as I would like it to, and I'm able to grind out my opponent in advantage. So running 10 critical in the deck is actually a good safety net for me. I'm running 2 draws because, like I said, there are other draw mechanics in the deck, so having 2 draws is actually a really good safety net right now for us. And the way that the meta is going right now, having 10 crits and 2 draws seems to be the safer route, and it ends games a lot faster than what people are mostly used to. I actually lost one of my matches at grade 3 because my guy double critted me, finding out that he had 10 crit. Lastly, for the original heals, I wasn't really digging the new heal trigger, so I went and ran with the old one. For my grade 1 lineup, let's start off. I'm running 4 Sentinels of the new Perfect Guard, just so it can help me with my counterblast issues. The deck doesn't really uses counterblast as much as I would like it to, so this evens it all out. I'm running 3 Stride Enablers because I kind of, with the way that the deck is not supposed to play, I can't ditch my Giraffa cards for striding. It doesn't really work. It works against the deck, especially since the new G unit. I have to have Giraffas in front and in back on field, so I upped this to 3. Next, I'm running 4 of the Ride Chain grade 1s. This card is good because it helps me get my Giraffas in my hand as long as my Giraffa grade 3s in my hand as long as I get rid of another card. So this card is actually pretty excellent to help filter through my my hand and deck. And lastly, I run 3 Elite Mutant Trigul. Now this card is awesome. This card actually helps the deck become consistent and get your Giraffa units in your hand and onto the field. So at the beginning of your opponent's right phase, if they have a rested card, you look at top 5 cards of your deck, search for up to 1 Giraffa unit from among them, reveal to your opponent, and put in your hand, shuffle the deck. So this card's great. So later on in the game, when you're starting to stun your opponent's cards, uh, as soon as they ride, you start sifting through your deck, depending on how many you have on the field, and start getting your draft units. So if you have 3 of these in the back row, and you stun your opponent's rear guard, and it doesn't stand due to some crazy card that you have that enables to stun that early in the game, and you have like 2, 3 of these, you're doing the ability 3 times, and getting out any giraffe units you find in those 3. This card's great. This card's absolutely great. And you're deck thinning. And we all know Skynet loves to deck thin. For my grade 2 units, I'm running 4 of the ride chain, because you should run 4 of the ride chain. I think out of all the draft units, this is my favorite looking one. I do like the blue and gold, and it's a really, really good looking card, and it enables you to stun upon hit, and it becomes 10k if you have the grade 1 in the soul. 6 minutes. I'm running 4 Sweet Cocktail. It's Generation Break, I know, but the card actually does work, and it also allows me to draw at the end of my opponent's turn if that card is still there. Normally, you would want to stun a person's front row so they can't intercept, but actually stunning the boosters is much more effective. Absolutely much more effective, because it's harder for them to replace. You can always replace an attacker because you have a lot of grade 3s and a lot of grade 2s, but stunning a booster, you only have a finite amount because you don't really want to put triggers back there. And lastly, and this tech you may remember from my build with Darkface, is Abyss Diver. Now this enables me to stun at grade 2 with the Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, so I'd probably end up pulling out the grade 0 that's inside the soul if I use this card. And then when my grade 3 comes around and I have the Trighoul in the back, that enables me to go search out my Giraffa units on my opponent's turn. And if I end up not having a Giraffa unit for a grade 3, if I find one, win. It is win. I actually love this card and its simplicity. Next, for my grade 3 units, I run 4 Giraffa. Now, Giraffa's weird in a sense that Giraffa doesn't stun, which it still bothers me a little bit, but it retires your opponent's grade 1s by killing off 2 of your own for a Counterblast 2. Now, it's weird. I think it's kind of weird, but it makes sense. So you're killing off a booster, but you have to kill off your own, and it's just, it screams Shadow Paladins. It screams Shadow Paladins. But this card is highly important just for the deck, especially if you're going to be striding with Goliath. So I actually don't ride into this first when I have it, because I run a different tech in the deck. And this is what it is. I run 4 of the Break Rides. Now this is a very interesting tech that a friend of mine showed me, and it works. It absolutely works, and it combos well with Trighoul. So you end up just playing your game normally. You sitting on Cycloma Tooth, and then you just stride into some of your stride units and not really give a care in the world. And then when Break Ride comes, you pretty much, what you'd want to do is actually ride the Break Ride on top of it and stun your opponent's Vanguard and their whole field. That will, then on their turn, that will trigger off Trighoul because they have a rested card, and you end up searching for the rest of your Giraffe units to set up for your Goliath turn. But what my buddy showed me, and I have to give him credit where credit's due, he usually told me to Break Ride and then stride, cause the 10k is actually kind of irrelevant at this point. You stride into Paraspear, so now everything's rested, so it gets an extra 5k, and you draw, so you're drawing more off of what you have. Whew. So, and you pretty much at 4, you just continue to do it. You continue just to break on break, striding with your stride enablers whenever you can, and pretty much grind out your opponent because they're forced to re-ride every single turn. for 1, 2, 3, and then you go for the coup de grace with Darkface. I mean, with excuse me, with Giraffa. Stride again. If you have to struggle, you struggle. So they have all rested cards. They're pretty much using up their grade 3s to rewrite some more resources, being able to not stride and then continue with the pressure. Go into Goliath, fill your board with with Giraffa units, do his ability, and then swing. All the while, you're striding into Paraspears and you're striding into Stun Beetles. And I know I'm showing off my G units at the moment, but it's okay. So pretty much that's why I stuck with Cyclomatooth, because of its utility and able to grant out your opponent an advantage. So I know you already guys saw my G units. So I'm running 2 Paraspears because once I get to grade 3, it's pretty much going to be the same thing as I showed you. I'm just gonna try to out advantage my opponents as much as possible with all my cards. Because if I'm break on break, what else can I do? Because they're gonna have to end up replacing. They're gonna have to end up replacing everything on their field. I run 3 Stun Beetles. Now this is a tech shown to me by Caiserxs, and his rationality made sense, but it didn't make sense to me. But I'm trying it out anyway. So shout out to Caiserxs. So what he told me is that you play only 3 because the first Stun Beetle isn't going to hit because they're not gonna let you hit it. Makes sense. You don't want Stun Beetle to hit because it's a forced. You can't re-ride. So you go into the second one, and that enables you to actually hit with this card. At least you want to hit. Lastly, I run 3 Goliaths. Now this card's really good because it gives all your draft units on the rear guards plus 5k, and the ability, if it hits, you stun. But it's only if all your opponent's cards are all rested. Now that's the reason why you're running the break ride, because it forcefully rests all your opponent's units, and there's nothing they can do about it. So this is what you call the push turn, and you're going to be riding Goliath after Goliath after Goliath with all your draft units on the side, and pretty much that's how the deck works. I pretty much already showed you the original combo earlier in the video, which my bad guys, but it's alright. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comment section below. If you'd like Caiserxs or myself to profile a video, leave that in the comment section below. Have a great day.